Okay, missions, free flight, Comet. There it is. Yeah, let's go and have a quick look. So it might be night time, so just in case we're not familiar with the controls. Let's see, this is not the propeller, that's for running the electrical systems. Just when the plane's flying through the air, it spins in the wind. It has guns, but we're not using those because we're not on an ops mission. If we come around this end, we can see there is a rocket. There we go. So that's what's propelling us. So it's either on or off. There is no in between. The other thing of note is that the undercarriage is just two little wheels on the front. Oh, can I get around that? There we go. Yeah. Yeah, so they're very narrow, so it's not very stable. And there is a little jockey wheel on the back, but that stays down, that doesn't retract. So when we are in the air, we retract the undercarriage. Will it let me do that from here? I think I can. Where are we? That one here. There we go. So it retracts the undercarriage, so that's how we're flying. And then when we're coming into land, and taking off, obviously, the undercarriage comes down and it causes some drag and slows the plane down. So also the other thing is the flaps, which I think I've got here. So the flaps are up that end, and when you lift up oddly it changes the flaps to the down position, which isn't working. So these flaps go up and down with that lever when you're in the plane. I thought it might do it while we're here. So I did change the flaps, yeah, we did move the flaps. But okay, so if we get in the plane, there we go. Now when I do the flaps, we should be able to see them. Just see them going up and down. If I put my head under here, can I see them here? Not really. You can just about make it out. But anyway, so the flaps are used a little bit on takeoff, and then as soon as you're taken off, just get rid of the flaps. Got magneto, which you turn on, fuel you turn on, and the rocket switch is just either on or off. There's no throttle, as you can see in here. And then the undercarriage switch, which I just showed you, and if you push the B button or the Y button on the controller, no, it's the B button, Y button doesn't do it. You can see the foot pedals both go to the floor instead of when you're using the rudder, both of the pedals go to the floor, which shows you're applying the brakes. So let's get out of there. Okay, so Comet, and wear the helmet. That's a good idea. Free flight, there we go. Right. It's still at night. Okay.
Comet 1005, you are cleared for takeoff.
I was hoping for a daytime flight, but it's decided it's going to be night time. But that doesn't actually make any real difference. So turn the magneto on, turn the fuel on. I'll leave the flaps off for a second, but I'm going to hit the rocket, and then I'm going to give myself some flaps as I take off. So go, and bit of flap, it just pops up in the air and then flaps back down again straight away. If we leave the flaps on, it just points us at the sky, which, well, you might want to do that, but you've got the joystick which controls that quite well, so you don't really need to use the flaps. Undercarriage up as we're in the air. Could have done that a lot sooner. Literally as you come off the ground, if you want, you can put the undercarriage up. As you can see, we're burning through the fuel pretty quick, so let's turn that off. We don't need to keep accelerating. As we get down to the bottom of the green zone on the airspeed gauge, it's worth considering adding more throttle, but as you see, as we're diving now, we're picking up a bit of airspeed, but we're going to run out of altitude by the time we get to the runway. So I'm just going to pop the jet on for a moment and then off again, down with the gear, and then I'm going to ease the flaps in as we approach, which gives us lift at slower speeds. And we approach the runway and touch down and push the B button to brake and come to a stop. Yay! Flaps off, fuel off, ignition off. Alright, let's refuel. Okay, so let's give that another go. So magneto, fuel. This time I'll put the flaps on full, like I have been doing, well, like I normally do, but I just tried it with adding the flaps as I needed it to take off. Hit the rocket, off we go, and it just flies up in the air when you've got enough lift because you've got the flaps on. And turn the flaps off. Bring the flaps up, should we say, and the undercarriage up. You don't need those. And we're going to circle. And keep going round. And so about 1500 we can kill the ignition. So we've got the airport on our right, so we can turn and dive from this altitude. Well, we're about 1500 metres now. I can put the undercarriage down. I can bring the flaps in slowly, and I've got good speed, much more than I would normally have. And then we pull up at the last moment and hit the brakes. There we go. So at speed run 10, that's two different ways of landing, coming in slow and low, or coming in from altitude and just having the right speed as you arrive. So I'm going to have a look at the replay, see how that looks, and then post it. So hopefully it'll help, and good luck.